All right, welcome everyone. This is the another day of BA Agile Scrum track, and the good news is that today, in fact, yesterday itself, we have started the day one of business analysis track. We have gradually transitioned from Scrum track to business analysis track. The beauty of this entire program is that we deliver everything in agile manner only, and that's why you don't even realize that you can start at any point of time. So even if you are listening to the recording, even after listening to the recording, you can start this track. So before we get into the details of BA Scrum, what we are going to do, we are going to um, learn some reminders which are not only for you but for everyone, even who are listening for first time. So whenever you, if you are a student and if you are a learner, then remember to show up live, because live bring the light, and this is the practice to being on time, being punctual, and be highly committed, because this is the practice for you to get into the corporate and follow the same. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. This is the preparation for you to get placed towards the corporate of America. That is the main preparation, because you must follow these few traits. The second one is be the full stack student as well, because every moment you are learning, right? So how you can be a full stack student? By doing all the assignment, and not only doing all the assignment, whatever you have learned, repeat all of them. And before doing that, if you can do some self research, really well done. And the third one is that taking the full responsibility. People love to take full responsibility of their success. For success, they want to give credit to themselves, and for failure, they want to give credit to someone else. But no, you need to take the credit for both of the things, because failures are the trail for the success. Okay, the fourth one is that keep your mindset healthy by being into learning zone, being positive, and make yourself complaint free, but load yourself with the gratitude. That's the mindset we request you to follow. And start your day with the strangest secret audio shared with you, that is to increase your receptivity. And do follow the golden quadrant of learning, which is starting. Before learning anything, you need to declare, then learn, then draw, and then summarize. Okay, this is what is called as golden quadrant of learning. So are you ready to declare? Because we are going to take a deep dive towards the learning new concept today. So everyone is out ready here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So two strong voices are yes. So I will make everyone to increase their volume and be ready to give yourself a self high five. And at the count of three, you are going to give yourselves high five and state a sentence after me. Okay, at the count of three, you are going to do one, two, three. What I am going to learn is going to be super easy, because I am a quick learner. Yes.
What I am
What
going
I'm
to
going
learn
to
is
learn
going to
is
be super
going
easy
to be
because
super
I'm
easy
a
because
quick
I'm a quick
learner.
learner.
Yeah. And whatever others can learn and master, I too can do that.
Whatever
Whatever
others
others
can
can
learn
learn and
and
master,
master, I can
I
do
too
that.
can do that.
Once again, give yourself really high five and say that, because I am a fast learner, because I am awesome learner.
Because
I'm a
I'm a
fast
fast
learner and
learner,
awesome
because
learner.
I'm an awesome learner.
And remember, if you have not given yourself high five, there is a science behind it. Go ahead and give yourself high five, give yourself clap. Okay, the science behind it is telling that there is a NLP is neuro linguistic programming, that is to anchor your verbs together to install the statement as a declaration to your mind, because what you declare gets designed towards your destination. Okay, so every single thing we do, there is a science behind it, there is a reason behind it. Okay, so don't even underestimate. I hope everyone has given the high five to themselves. Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much for being honest. And on this path, really be a giver. And if you are a learner, you need to give your ego away on the path of learning, because that makes you more grounded and spiritually grounded, I would say. And when you are on this path, set an intent of doing charity when you start earning after getting placed. And in case you are learning even today, you are encouraged to start giving away, doing some charity from your income, at least 5% or 10%, because what you give, that lets you grow, and what you receive, that makes you survive. Okay, that lets you survive. And keep appreciating what you do, what others do for you, and even what does not happen to you, because every single step is a preparation for the next step, and what you appreciate appreciates you. So on this note, we are ready to move to the next topic. And please confirm if you can see the slide.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So once again, everyone, welcome. Today we are going to understand, in fact, yesterday we started about uh, everything about business analysis. Okay, everything about business analyst. And give me a second. My mouse is behaving a bit weird. So yeah. All right. So business analyst, what is the roles and responsibility? Yesterday we learned about history, we learned about who is business analyst and what is in fact business analysis, right? And today we are going to learn about its roles and responsibility and much more things. Okay, so understand that business analyst is a role and which requires across the enterprise or organization for various reasons and in various roles. Okay, in fact, you can say that this person work across all level in the organization and may be involved in everything from defining strategy to create the enterprise architecture, taking a leadership role by defining the goals and requirement for any program or any project or any supporting continuous improvement in terms of technology and processes. Okay, so why he can involve everywhere? Because the person or the role itself help to do the business better in the organization. So do you understand that business analyst can involve at any place in the organization? And this is a very crucial role. Everyone out here, did you get it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I encourage you to give me a camera high five and state along with me. Okay. So if my okay, give me a camera high five. Say, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
I get it. I
Okay.
get it.
And I trust you get it. Thank you. So let's move further. Let's move further. And yeah, we are moving to, so these all things we were intent to cover yesterday itself. And today we will learn that what exactly, and we are going to learn the tools for business analysis and reporting. But before we get into this, let me ask you all guys, what do you understand by the word itself, business analysis, when it comes in your mind? Yeah. So who can tell? Business analysis or business analysis, a business analyst, the word when you hear for the first time, what comes in your mind? So Anila, what comes in your mind?
He gets a requirement from the stakeholders. He's the person who analyze all the processes in the company.
Amazing, brilliant. So great answer. So what comes in your mind, Rupa?
Yes, he analyzed the project and he assigned the complexity the feature.
Okay, that's wonderful. Great answer. And what comes in your mind, Abha?
The role of business analyst, he's like estimate and assess the what's the complexity of the process, and uh, he advised some what can be made, changes can be made.
Great, a great data gathering, I would say, for business analyst. Wonderful answer. And what comes in your mind, Bela?
The business analyst, uh, he analyzed the process. I think mm, he filling out the gap between the product owner and the stakeholders.
Brilliant. Another great answer. Thank you, Bela and Neela and Abha and Rupa and Varsha. What does come in your mind?
So business analyst for business analysis is usually means analysis of overall how the company is doing business. So it includes the processes as well as the company is looking for any new things to come up. So feasibility, the business analysis is basically checking the feasibility of either new things or existing processes. So that's for analyzing things called.
Great. Wonderful. Everyone has come up with the great answer. Exactly whatever you have said is right. But do you also understand that this job itself requires some tools? And we have spoken about some tools, right? Yesterday, we were talking about the easiest tools like Zoom. And we also know that Microsoft Office suite itself comes with a lot of many tools. Like we are using what? Every single day we use MS PowerPoint. That's the tool. We share our code of honor, the 7 code of honors, the roles, the reminders, in fact, for each of us at the start of the daily program, the daily routine, or with the daily course. So for learning, and that is mind map. That is also easier tool, right? Do you remember that we use mind map, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's great. And in a similar manner, a Microsoft Office suite is a tool that makes the things easier. Google Docs is a tool. Google Docs also gives you word processing tools and spreadsheet and other forms and all. In the similar manner, IBM's Rational Requisite Pro is there. Then Balsamic is there. SWOT analysis is a tool for SWOT is a tool for SWOT analysis. Then there is a Pencil is the name of one tool. Then Trello is a tool. Rick is a tool. Smart Draw is a tool. Version 1 is a tool. There are n numbers of tools, and not necessarily you need to know each and everything, all the tools, right? We will be telling you what tools are really budding, and you can go ahead and you can explore them, right? Everyone is with me over here till now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there will be various tools. You need to know what exactly is required. Okay. So yeah. So why we do use these kind of a tool? The simple job is for analyzing and reporting. Okay. So MS PowerPoint is one kind of a tool. And this software is used to prepare and deliver formal presentation. We all know that's what we have been using it. And business analyst often faces the situation where he needs to communicate ideas, justify or deliver project, and even learning out of that for project updates to stakeholders. So this communication becomes more effective in the form of presentation through PowerPoint. And that's the time when business analysts are required to encourage to use the PowerPoint presentation to give the presentation, right? MS Excel is the very important, vital, and I would say undisputed use tool by business analysts and many other roles. Okay, so this is what is the purpose of MS Excel? So this is basically for data analysis. Yes, exactly. You said it right. So this is for business analyst day-to-day use. So for every single thing, they generally use it. So we will be learning in detail that what is the role of MS Excel even for data analytics. So here there are few features of MS Excel you should be knowing, that is called as pivot tables, examination of the trends in terms of data, and data sorting and filtering and creating charts and graphs out of those data. So these are the minimal activity you should be knowing in MS Excel. Okay, and these are the easiest one. These are the easiest one, and very simple to use and very effective to know. Okay, you can learn this in just 5 minutes. So we will be exploring this as well as a part of tool. So all the tasks mentioned just now can be well performed using Microsoft Excel, which is spreadsheet like tool. And you know what, in the market, even to make the things more simpler, you know, that companies are competing with each other. If some tool becomes popular, the other means product comes or other name comes into the market, which makes sure that they will beat the most popular tool in the market. Okay, in terms of usage, in terms of user friendliness, in terms of effortlessness. Do you get that? And that's when the life gets more easier. But we encourage everyone out over here at least to be very much, you know, done with hands-on on MS Excel and PowerPoint, because these are the basic tools you will be using when you are at the job. Everyone is with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Another important tool is Microsoft Word. So I believe everyone out here must have used Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
at least these three too. Yeah, so Word is another word processing tool that serves the purpose of requirement specification document. So what is requirement specification document? Anyone knows over here? Okay, let me tell you. So requirement specification document is the very first document is created by business analyst. Okay, and as the name suggests, this specify requirements grabbed and understood from whom?
Customer.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Customers, stakeholders, and
Right.
organizations can create their specific template for documenting the requirement.
So
Yes.
I'm sorry, Gaurav,
Yeah.
this RSD. It is abbreviation. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the
You can.
abbreviation used?
Yeah, you can call it
RSD.
RSD. You can call it, you know,
FSD.
FSD. You can call it FSR. Okay, there are multiple names in the market. Okay, so what is FSD? Functional specification document. What is FSR? Is functional specification requirement document. What is RSD? Is requirement specification document. The name is, so whatever name is, you can just abbreviate that, right? So this
Yeah,
is
nowadays I'm like we are reading the JD job description, so like I want
yeah, exactly. So in the job description, you will find the abbreviation most. Okay,
Yes.
that this job role is for business analyst, and he or she should be knowing to create, you know,
Yes,
FSD,
that's
well
all
versed with FRD and all. So when you see these all terms, you must say, yes, I know them. Why? You might not be knowing the various abbreviation, but you can simply easily guess that. Can you not? You
Yeah.
can guess that, right? So only the thing is that this is just to subliminal message to create some stress already to candidates' mind. Okay, so that at the very first look and the very first encounter of the JD job description, they filter the candidates by scaring them up with some abbreviation, few things that, oh, I don't know, so I must not apply. But the truth is that you might be knowing that, and you just get scared and you don't apply for the job. by just watching and reading the job description. Has it happened to you earlier that you might have doubted yourself? Okay, these abbreviation, I don't think I have worked, and later you might have realized, oh, I think I have worked, or you have not even got into the details of it. Has it happened to you?
Yeah, I never knew this RST's requirement. I mean, simple.
Yeah. So this is how it is tricked. They simply filter. Not if a position is to why 2000 resume they should shortlist and they should filter out of. Yeah, makes sense,
Mhm.
right? Even if you
Mhm.
would be requiring something, you would require a very less hit or very less application for the role. Okay, and for fulfillment, right? Yes, everyone is
Yes,
with me and understanding what I am talking.
yes, yes,
Yeah, thank
yes.
you. The another tool is for drawing purpose. This is called as MS Visio. And after talking about it, I would be requesting Prerna ji to come and speak up because I have taken a lot of time speaking out, right? So MS Visio is a modeling tool that business analysts use to effectively capture and present stakeholders' idea in the form of business function and user interactions. The main utilities of Visios are UML diagram creation, such as use case, sequence diagram, and activity. Not only business analysts, but also this MS Visio is a great help for technical architect. Okay, and sometime tech leads. So to create data models or to generate architecture diagram, here you see the architect word has come. It's a really great help for business analyst and technical.
Just to add on this, Gaurav, if you don't mind.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, whatever Gaurav has been explaining now regarding the diagrams, it's not only beneficial to the tech team, that is techs and architects and leads, but if a layman, like anybody from accounting and finance, looks at all the diagrams, they kind of understand the flow or understand what is happening in the system. These diagrams are so simple and easy to understand, and we will be learning them, while the course continues. So
Yeah.
yes, that's what I
and
wanted to
and
add.
the MS Visio has that, it comes with the background of grid. Okay, do you understand the grid? It gives you rows
Grid
and
lines type
yeah,
that.
grid lines. Yeah, exactly. And rulers and something like that, so that it makes easy for user to create the diagram with the purpose and with the understanding and with the objective, right? It should not be like MS Paint. Okay, so it comes with the grid, that what exactly you are going to create. And why we use it for, obviously, requirement gathering, because we are business analysts, we are dealing with customer and clients, and there are various types of requirement. Okay, one is functional requirement, another one is for stakeholders, some requirements would be there, another is core for business, another could be solution requirement. And in fact, solution requirement are two types, that's non-functional and functional. So functional requirement, when we will talk about, so that covers the feature, the functionality, the usability, the capability, and the operation of any product or the services you are going to offer to your client. Your client means I'm the client and I might have my another client. Okay. Say for example, you are a company developing some features for Amazon, and why Amazon would require to serve their end user,
And grid.
right? Everyone is with me so far?
Yes.
And they may explain those features to you as a because you would be the business analyst, and they will be also expecting some non-functional requirement your company to check. What are those non-functional requirement? Could be those could be the performance of because you are developing this feature when incorporated on in amazon.com, it should not hamper the amazon.com speed. Okay, it should not allow any security issue or any technical issue. Are you with me so far? Whatever I have said had made sense?
Yes.
Gaurav, I have something super interesting to add, which is very,
L-
very recent.
Let's
Can I? Yes. Yeah, just with respect to this non-functional and functional. So basically, what Gaurav was just explaining, bang on that functional requirements are the things which are like, okay, you want a button here, or the page should have this detail, or my application should do this. Anything like, for example, if it is Amazon, you should be able to shop, pay bills and stuff like that. Non-functional, features on the other hand, which Gaurav just explained, that can be network speed, or fetching the data, how fast, how many, what I would say, users can be logged in at the same time. If you guys notice, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it happened all over. Facebook, WhatsApp,
Yeah,
Instagram.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, and
It was
that
a news
those
also.
6 hours costed Mark around
Zucker.
8 billion. Yes. So do you see the impact here? I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't, it was simply that the server was down, and maybe some other, definitely some complications otherwise they wouldn't have taken 6 hours. So imagine the kind of money big companies or the name they kind of lose when things like that happen. So it's not only how your website looks and how useful it is, but how it performs. That is why
Mhm.
when Gaurav said very aptly, the technical and non-technical, or the functional or non-functional features, both of them are so important. Why am I telling this? If tomorrow you go into any telecommunication or typical IT organizations, along with look and feel and functionality, the speed, the network, the load balancing, the user management, everything, these words might sound a little naive to you now, but these are the words, these are the things IT companies strive for, because that is uh, where
Horrible.
the reputation and the safety security, as in performance point of view, is very important. Yes, Gaurav, would you I mean, yeah, would like to continue, or can I go take this? It's up to
you can, but let me do one thing, because it reminds me one thing which I had promised to everyone that I am going to showcase. Earlier I did not share that because Rupa was not present on that day. Yesterday I did not show because I think Bela was not available, and today I think Kamini is not there. So yeah, so I think I should not delay anymore. So what I wanted to present, this is apart from this, because we have come from business analysis and Scrum, and we have spoken about framework, we have spoken about various tools. So I'm just going to pause the recording and will take you towards Jira and show that how exactly it looks like. Okay, and later when you will create your
Epic
trial
one.
trial account, then you can explore yourself. Okay, so let me pause the recording and will take you to the Jira, and at least I'll show you the Scrum board or the Kanban board. How does it look like? Okay, so wait a second, give me a give me a moment to pause the recording. Okay, just so there is some issue with, okay, so I need to soft boot. Just give me a seconds and come back. You can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and take you towards the screen. So I am in Jira. Okay, wait a second, I have not stopped the recording. So all right, so I have shown you about Jira, how does it look like, and what all items you can create, and also I share the Kanban board with you, where things were in various statuses, and those ticket can be moved forward from to do to in progress to done. Okay, until unless any test is not required to apply upon. Yeah. So yes, Prerna ji, you can take it up now and you can go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I think the importance of non-functional requirements and functional requirements both must be clear to you. If you still have any doubts, I would really like to you guys to go ahead and ask questions. Bela, Abha, Rupa, Varsha, and Anila, all of you. If you still have any teeny miny doubts that okay, what exactly is non-functional or why it is important, because Mark's current example is the latest and it is the most what I would say relevant example to what we are discussing. That's why I
Exactly.
have highlighted.
So who
Yes.
won the market? It was Telegram, it was Twitter. They were dominating at that time, and
Yes.
the market and the in fact the audience realized the power of being more robust in terms of technicality and security. And by the way, people identified from where the security breach happened. Okay. And again, this time was again from China, to these powerful sources of Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Both were down. Yeah. So yeah, wonderful example, by the way, Prerna ji. And one thing which even Varsha was telling before we started about
Thank
FRD
you.
and RSD.
Mhm.
Yeah, and in
Yes.
the
Yes.
similar manner, in the when we are talking about functional requirement, so these start with statement of work, which is first published, okay, even before functional requirement document comes. And when you are jotting or capturing the requirement for the technical needs, then it is also called as what? TRD.
Technical.
Yeah, technical requirement document. So don't be surprised when you see these abbreviation for business analyst role. Okay,
Mhm.
you will be at still at ease or
Mhm.
your comfort. Everyone, yes, right? It's yes from every one of you. You will
Yes.
you will be at ease. Yeah, nothing to get scared. So I'm moving Prerna ji onto the next slide for you so that you can just take that up. So there are some example. Yes, Prerna, you can talk about if you, or I can continue.
Yes. Thank you so much. This is an interesting example that how we actually gather the requirements. What are the and by the way, whatever we are displaying right now is basically a template. If you could see, there are all WH questions like what, where, when, how, or why, all that. So basically, this will act like a template or fill in for you, so you can go ahead and create your own examples on top of it. It's that easy. So let's see what it says. A requirement example, right? So it's like what we have to do. Okay, so we have to do a PayPal integration. Okay, integrated with some other system maybe. So where? So checkout. Checkout means whenever we do any
At that
online
time.
shopping, yeah,
Mhm.
that time we have to it's basically a payment method. Checkout is how you're gonna pay next. So in that scenario, how you want to integrate PayPal, there might be other things like Google Pay, Amazon Pay. Nowadays there are so many. I'm not sure how many options you have there. Here we have plenty. So all these things come, and then you want to integrate PayPal. So when it is mentioned within step 3 of 4 in the checkout experience, after the shipping address web form before the confirmation. So now this might sound a little vague to you, but this is basically as per the flow of the application or the process, that okay, the all the pages is which you all the pages and all the websites or all the applications which you see, you just feel that okay, this is a normal flow, but in between on technical side there can be intermediate pages which are not visible, which just helps you to go from one page to another. Like for example, I'll just give you a quick example. Whenever you log into any of your banking account or any of your Facebook or any account wherein you input your login ID and password, many of the time there are intermediate intermediary pages who all checks your data. Is this a user ID proper? Is this a password proper? An internal redirecting that happens. So those pages are not supposed to appear in that website. Those are hidden pages, we can call them, rather we do call it. And then they do all the background work. It's as same as whenever we watch any play, or in theater, there are people on the stage, but there are so many background supporters or helpers, right? So and they are crucial too. So on the similar manner, that happens, and that is why all this in detail is written, that 3 out of 4 page in checkout. So don't get confused by that. I just wanted to make it simple for you. Okay, so we answered what we have to do, where we have to do, and when we have to do. Like we have to integrate PayPal, add checkout with this specific page. Now the question, very interesting question, as a BA, you should be asking often, as in not every time, but whenever you feel it is apt to ask, is why. So it is said that PayPal integration is a better solution. It's robust, and and it also meets clients' requirements. So what answer why gives you the clarity that
Business value.
yes, why are we doing it? See, there can be many motives. There are motives like it's simple, and the best motive is because customer wants it and because they're paying you, so you're doing it. As simple as that. Second motive, at times things are because as a company, as a product, as a technical team, you want to have better security, better performance. That way you might be doing something. I'm not talking only in respect to this, I'm talking general, right? So here you're doing it because it's a customer ask, but if for example some other things might be there, it can be from development point of view. I'm just giving you scenarios to think aloud. Okay, so what are the assumptions? The assumptions are there is no fee for shipping and handling, and it all the shipping it is only entire US, and taxes do not apply. So these are the assumptions, right? So what happens, assumptions are also similarly, what I would say, the ask which customer has ensured that you should, what I would say,
Include.
accept or go by or include. Absolutely right. Yeah, include. So these are not, I would say, mandatory or compulsory for all the customers. Other customers, or if there was assuming Amazon, right? They would have said, okay, charge what 10% tax. I'm just giving a vague number. Or they can say, no, we charge. There are sites which charge you for shipping unless some particular amount, like if you have some
Minimum
very
shopping
very small
amount.
minimum, yes, minimum delivery amount they call it. So if you have something really less, very cheap product, or it's hardly any cost, they'll charge you a decent amount of shipping, so you end up buying something more to the level that they will not charge the shipping. That's again a big business tactic. So
Business
luckily,
strategy.
yeah, business strategy, and they also want people to buy more, and because they give you the illusion that okay, you're paying out of your pocket for delivery, why not get it free? And they even kind of impel you or kind of force you to buy something else also. So
Mhm.
exclusions are this international shipping is not allowed, tax rules are not allowed, as in not applicable, not allowed, not applicable, and custom shipping and handling fee calculation is also excluded because they are not charging any shipping. That means they are not going to charge you anything. So just try to look at, okay, yeah, now this is a very good line I want to highlight. Just read if you can, all of you. Remember, the smaller the delta between client experience, expectations, and the reality with their digital project or product, the happier your client is going to be with the end result. So, and this applies, I think this is very self-explanatory, and I think this applies to everybody. When we go to shop, when we go to eat, when you make something, we try to match to the expectation, or we try to match to the imagination, or our own desire what we want. In simple terms, you go to any authentic pizza place and you want to have that typical Italian pizza. Okay, now don't get me into wrong. Maybe say plain cheese pizza, but the typical one. And if the taste is exactly what you wished for, you are so fulfilled, you are so happy. That happiness shows on your face. So on the similar grounds, when you go to shopping and you want something, maybe you want to buy a laptop. Okay, you want a latest i11, super fast and great memory, whatever. Maybe a gaming laptop. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing in there. And then when you get one, the kind of satisfaction you have. So that is what we're looking for. If what the customer is asking and what you're delivering is exactly similar, or you are in coherence, that is where the entire what I would say shift happens. The trust, the happiness, the bonding, and by the way, mind you, it is often not given that importance, but customer bonding and customer relations are very, very important. And why I'm speaking this to you here, because as a business analyst, you, or in any business analyst, deals a lot with the customers, and hence to have that understanding, maturity, discussions is very important. I'm not asking anybody to go out with them for dinners and for other meetings and stuff like that, but having a clear communication, them knowing you that you are working in their best of interest, and you knowing that they are working by the books, is very, very important. So yes, Gaurav, would you like to add something,
Yeah,
or we
yeah,
can go ahead?
and wonderful
Yes.
example. It made me tempted to give you this. So yeah, wonderful sharing, and I could relate with that. Pizza example. So how exactly you as a customer would feel like if you have loved pizza ever, and imagine the first bite you are taking with the cheesy juicy pizza. It is getting into your mouth, melting. You are just closing your eyes, and mouth is already closed, just appreciating the melt and the taste and everything. And next, the moment you will open your mouth and say, hey, how you have made it, okay, how sumptuous it was. So in the similar manner, any customer would love to talk about your product like that. And you know what, as a creator or as a product owner or as a business analyst, you have done your job great to bring that delight on customers face. That should be your end goal. Okay, so that's why we have talked about the delta. Okay, that client will be more happy. But whatever I have said, just added in Prerna's example, has that made some sense to you, Bela, Anila, and Varsha, and Abba and Rupa?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And how many of you have already heard the name of PayPal earlier? Everyone?
Ah, yeah,
Yes.
used it.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me one competitor of PayPal in the market?
Okay.
Zelly, Z,
Oh,
LMZ.
yeah.
Okay. Z. Let me tell you, along with PayPal, there was one more dominating name, and it is trying to get into the various markets, especially in India. One dominating name has entered last year. Its name is Stripe. I don't know how many of you have heard the name
What is
Stripe.
it?
Stripe, Stripe. Let
Stripe.
me repeat that. It is Stripe.
Stripe.
Okay, it's a Stripe, like PayPal. So when Stripe entered in India's market, so don't you think that they had also some fee features like shipping and handling and other things? So what exactly they did when they entered in India market? What they did, they declared there will be a no fee for any handling, any shipping for international product or any digital product. Okay, it will be without taxes. Okay, and they have just limited over here, all shipping is within the US, but now PayPal is helping all the shipping across the globe as well,
Yeah.
right? Even in
Mhm.
India. So what exactly happened? PayPal does a huge. They charge huge conversion rate in Indian market. Stripe, when they entered, they were not charging the conversion rate for any marketing done in US dollar, and when the amount were getting deposited in Indian banks, okay, through customer. So that's how they tried capturing the market. And today, Stripe is a well known market against PayPal in India. In the similar manner, there are other payment gateways, like in India, popular are Razorpay, Instamojo, and all. And as
Mhm.
Prerna ji had added, there are various payment methods we were talking about. And
Mhm.
we also talked about, when we ask the why, we exactly know why we are going to integrate some feature of some tool and where we need to fit in. And we declare the assumption we make, we declare the exclusion we are going to make. And this is the example, right? And we have in this example n- shown you the notes that, hey, this is my assumption and this is the exclusion. And we have also declared the inclusion part just above assumption. And you know what? In the business analyst term or requirement gathering term, these items as inclusion, as exclusion, and assumption declaration is called as
So,
scope
So,
definition,
Mhm.
defining the scope. Okay, so take a note. This is called as defining the scope. In the scope, you declare that what is included, what is excluded, and what is assumed. Okay,
Mhm.
so don't miss. And when interviewer will ask you, hey, can you tell me the scope in detail, then you should be remembering three parameter. That's inclusion, exclusion, and assumption.
Assumptions.
Has it made some sense? Bela, Anila, Rupa, Abha, and Varsha, everyone out here, yeah?
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, from everyone, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Prerna ji, back to you on the next slide, please. This is requirement gathering process, Prerna ji. So yeah,
thank you.
you can
Thank you so much. Sorry, I was talking on mute. Yes,
no
I
worries.
really liked that short note, and thanks so much for explaining so well inclusion, exclusion, and assumption. These kind of small pointers go very long. Uh, so please, if you are writing down on a notepad, please ensure that you jot down these kind of things, which are like, during our exams, we used to highlight with different pen colors. So this one is one of the, cream on the cake kind of, or cherry on the cake kind of thing. If you just say these three words, with respect to requirement gathering, I'm pretty sure the interviewer is gonna get impressed, or at least he would know that you mean business and you know what you're talking about. And that's essential to crack any interview. So yes, going forward, this is what requirement gathering process looks like. It's simply, I'll just read out a few things because they're very easy, and then I'll like to go one by one, explanation wise. So it simply states, you have to take notes, which is evident and which is the most required thing, because you have to jot it down, what the client, what the vendor, what the internal team, or from wherever you're taking the requirements, how many counterparties are there, what they want, and what is their expectation. You have to jot it down, make notes, make it creative, make annotations, write them in a required document, that we just, Gaurav had mentioned some time back. Those can be FSD or BRD or any flow diagrams, use cases. Then hold an internal review and hold an external review. So now remember, these things have to be in this order, as in, especially the review part. As we all know, most of you have gone through the Scrum Master training. The review part generally and always comes at the end, because after completing something, you go for a review. The important thing is internal and external both. Internal means when you prepare any document, or you have everything what vendor had shared with you, formally documented, and with proper diagrams, use cases, templates, user stories, whatnot. I'm just using the typical words which you're supposed to use at any interview, or while asking any questions as a BA. So this document should be and must be reviewed by seniors in your team. So it can be a scrum master, a product owner, or your delivery manager, or your senior manager, or your senior BA if you're working with, if you're junior. Or it also be kind of getting reviewed with the technical architect. Okay, I would just like to add a simple example. I'm not sure I've shared with you. Why you would ask me, these are just requirement, and why you have to involve technical team? It looks like a documentation work, and many people think like that. But trust me, your development team's involvement at this stage is very important, because we say that client can and does ask for moons and stars. They even ask for galaxies at time. So we need to, I mean, that was on a sarcastic part, but then we need to ensure the feasibility of whatever client is asking, that can be provided or not. As in, there are some technical challenges, there are some technical limitations of how things can be developed, or how it can be created, how a website will look, what should be its speed. So that has to be run through with the technical team. That is why internal review, along with your technical team leads or heads, or seniors, is very important. Please note it down. Please always remember that even as a BA, though your work looks a lot functional and with documentation and on a managerial side, but you as a team member will always need to be and should be together with your development team. Everything has to be in coherence. You have to go parallel. They should know what requirements your client is asking. You should know that what is your development team's take. If development team says it's going to take 8 months, or 8 days for a particular requirement, the same has to be communicated. I know I'm giving a lot of emphasis on this, because as coming from development point of view, I have burned my hands when these things did not happen, and as a development team head, or as a manager, we had to face many challenges with respect to time and delivery. So to avoid all that and to be an effective BA, I'm just highlighting that internal reviews are very important, and external reviews, as we say, those will be, that's the final step, and those will be absolutely with your vendors and your stakeholders. That means your senior management, your other team members, seniors would be present, and you will give a review, or you will just present whatever document you have. Rather, it's a round table discussion. Every party sits in that discussion, and and on the, it can be a Word document. Many times FSD BRDs are Word document, and then they are displayed in and then everybody talks on that if they have any doubts till that time. And otherwise it's just accepted happily, approved and signed by all the parties. Don't worry, we will surely show you templates or actual documents with uh, how they look like, what all contents they will have with respect to BSD, FSD, user stories, use cases. Right till now, just try to remember the names of the documents and how, why and where they're used. So I had cleared last 2 points, which are very important. So, and I started a bit taking notes. Make creative. Okay, I know it sounds little not so typical, but it actually is, because you just can't be monotonous. You have to ensure that when somebody reads your document, they shouldn't fall asleep. It should be, so it's and trust me, trust me, it's my personal experience. If you read some of the it's like a user manual thing and all. Basically user manuals is what you already developed, and before that it is in different format. But then people tend to write it so boring that it's really difficult to keep your eyes open. So don't do that. Make it short and sweet, to the point. I have personally created user manuals for some of the applications in early days of my career. And trust me, it's not a great thing to do manually. It was such a pain, because you have to remember everything, and then you feel like you have to explain this and that, and then it's very difficult to know where to stop. So same goes with BA. The documents, the requirements have to be that clear that development team or anybody who is going to work on it or who is going to read it should understand. But also they should not be so lengthy and so much time consuming that you have mentioned the unwanted things also. So there is a, you have to, be have a great balance. So I'll just like to give my personal example. It might sound funny, rather it is funny. At that time I was very sad. In my school, during maybe 6 or 7 standard, 7 maybe, we had some essay, a class, and we were asked to write an essay on atomic energy, or atomic power. Okay. And I don't know, that time I was heavily into science, and I got so involved in that process. I wrote an essay of 8 pages, I remember, because my best friend who was sitting next to me, she told me to, Prerna, stop, you're writing too much. And I said, I know, I have this. And we had that Hiroshima Nagasaki thing earlier. We had visited one of the other school, and we met those Japanese kids. So I had too many things in mind. You know how many marks I ended up getting for that 10 marks essay? I think barely 3 for an 8-page essay. And my teacher was like, it wasn't a thesis, it was supposed to be a short essay. On the contrary, when I wrote short and sweet essays, I always, most of the time, ended up topping or getting the highest marks. So the point is, which I remembered for my entire life, is it need not be big. People say in masters or in engineering, just page bhar do, like, go and write any movie story. Please don't do that. That doesn't work in corporates. So you have to be crisp, you have to hit on head, you have to be to the point, you have to be crystal clear about what you're saying. There should not be any vague or any misleading comments. You have to put an end to every of your requirement. And anybody reading that, any normal person, who do not have any technical background, should also understand. So yes, write them in requirement document template that I mentioned, that we have functional specification document, we have BRD's business requirement document. That is the document for this, and that document itself again can contain flow diagram, user cases, and all that. So it's a very interesting process, if you ask me. I myself have kind of guided a lot of BAs to prepare these documents as a PM from technical side, or as a PM for that overall project. And it is an interesting thing, because you see something being created and you are actually creating something. So it's a wonderful experience, and it is a very valuable task. It's a very valued task, you preparing a BRD, FSD, and it teaches you a lot about the vendors, about the product overall, what is going to look like, how it's going to work. So it's an interesting journey. Trust me, I know it might not sound that much as of now, but when you be a part of that actual process, you are going to thoroughly enjoy it. Yes, Gauravji, over to you.
Yeah. So the thing is, what I quickly want to, paint the picture with you, that, what exactly these 6 steps have spoken about in the requirement gathering process. So what exactly happens, Bela, Anila, Varsha, and Rupa and Abha, that you walk to customer to understand what are the stuff there in his mind. Okay. He starts speaking out. Okay. And then you, at the first step, you take notes. But When you will just make note, you won't be able to remember and retain the memory for longer. And that's why at the second phase you are asked to make it more creative. And when you will try to make it more creative, it can retain for few time, but you will retain longer when you will annotate it. Okay. And means at the third step, you need to draw some pictures along with
Graphic
whatever you have
picture.
understood. Right. And then once you are done with pointer 3, you have made some note with the pictorial annotation and all. Now you are asked to, use companies template. Okay. And those template could be for requirement document or use case document. There are two different documents. Okay. There are in fact various documents. Okay. And there are various template in the company, and company can ask you use this, that, and various things, and those are self-explanatory. When you look at them, you will understand what exactly these documents are going to be used for. Okay. And once you have done with that, you have created, you have noted them in the Word document, then you can call other persons who were available with you in the meeting when discussing with the client. Do you follow? Abha, Rupa, Bela,
Yes,
Anila,
yes,
and
Yes.
Varsha.
yes,
And
yes,
once
yes.
you will cross check with them, then you can send that back to other team member. Okay. So this is how, means what exactly you do. So let's understand more in detail. Prenaji, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Yes.
adding this thing. So yes, now we're coming to triple DM, that is data driven decision making. It's called as DDDM for short. So as the name suggests, what this process allows you is to make decisions or to understand a situation or to come to a conclusion on the basis of whatever data or whatever information you have in your hand, right? So now if you can see, there is a circle, and there are few pointers which are going to help you to go to the next level. So starting with okay, data driven decision making, I would like to give the latest example that we were just sharing about the Facebook, Insta, WhatsApp going down. So the problem was everything was down, and luckily I was sleeping that time. So yes, I did not face any. So yes, that was a problem. Now step two is analyze the problem. Analyze the problem might sounds very easy for us. We will say, okay, it's just not working. But that's not how it goes technically. It's like, okay, why it's not working? If the page is not getting displayed, if the code has any issue, if the server is down, or what not, there can be n number of things. So analyzing that kind of problem, that whatever problem we have, the information about the problem we have, uh, how can we understand it well? Because see, in life also, whenever we understand what the problem is, then we start uh, when
Working
then
on
we
solution.
start working on it, and then we start to have thoughts to resolve, how to resolve it, right? To reach from point A to point B, we think like, do we have to take a flight? Do we have to go by road? Do we have to take a boat or whatnot? So things like that. So whenever you see a problem, you first analyze. First of all, you have to define or find the problem. What is the problem? You define the problem. Okay, this is a problem. Everything is down. Analyze it. Okay, why? Most probably is the server issue, that the servers were down. That's why the information could not be fetched. Everything was down. Okay. Then develop insights. Okay, develop insights is now you analyze that this is the problem, but then why it would have occurred? Okay, why? As in, did the servers were out of power, or they were outdated, or there were any bugs or whatnot? I'm just trying to keep it pretty simple for everybody's understanding. There can be really numerous things, to understand or to know from from a particular situation. So yes, what was it? And then after that, it's test the insights. Okay, so basically they got to know that okay, servers went down. So on that insight, what action was taken? Okay, so what action was taken? Okay, they might have restarted this the servers. For a simple example, when your laptop is getting hang and it is not working properly, it is getting slow, and then you understand, oh, it is not working fine. What the best you do is please restart the
Boot.
machine, and reboot. Yes, that is that is that is like the alpha omega, like it's like, yes, kuch nahi hota hai to restart karo. I know it's stupid, but many a times it works, because that is what that system might be requiring. It might be heated from inside, it might have a lot of memory in cache, or it might have some unwanted processes that going on in the background, and that you were or rather you are not aware of, and that's okay. So though it seems like a stupid option, but trust me, it's one of the very valid thing. Unless you have saved everything, closed everything, and then you can just go for a restart. So that way, now I personally do not know. As I joined office yesterday, I could not get time to go through the news, or neither I'm not that big on news, but I at least do watch some technical news. So whatever info I have got is only via WhatsApp. So till the time the poor fellow lost 8 billion, the team was struggling, and I think mostly found. I'm just giving
Oh, he is
assumption.
not
Mostly
poor.
found, as in as
Got it.
in
Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
definitely he's not,
Got it.
definitely he's not. But then sitting there and seeing your
Yeah,
money getting
situation.
lost in
Mhm.
this, yeah, I was saying from
Situation.
emotional point of view, if I have some application going down for so long that way. So I was sensitive, see, we technical people are sensitive to each other because we know how it feels. So I was
Really.
just, yeah, because when it comes to delivery and customers, it's always, there are two people, or two professional who ask the same questions. That how was the delivery? One is a doctor and second is the IT professional,
IT
because
person.
deliveries are so important. Yes.
Release. Mhm.
Yes, release. Here we are heavy on delivery because releases keep happening. Delivery is
Mhm.
something I find it's a bigger picture. A lot of releases go into one delivery, stuff like
Okay.
that. Okay.
Okay.
So coming
Mhm.
back to our point, I think everybody's with me. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Anila,
Yes.
Abha, you getting? Yeah, you getting
yes,
the
Yes.
yeah.
information from Mela?
Yes.
You able
Yes.
to connect? Yes, yes. Okay. I hope same with Rupa also. And I've been
Yes.
talking to Varsha, so I know. Great. So, see, why I am indulging in so much of this example is because it's very recent and you could relate to it. You could see, oh, my WhatsApp is not working, oh, my Facebook is not working, and the impact it had. Though luckily these are not life-altering applications, at least for us, but for teenagers or for other people or for people who actually work on those, they might be doing marketing and stuff like that. It would be definitely tough. Or imagine a scenario when any medical or any defense related application goes down, the kind of repercussions or the
Criticality.
kind of, yes, difficulty anybody faces, the threat we have, so it's very tough. It's very, it looks funny, it looks very, oh, not a big deal, but no, it is. And that is where the BA or the IT team, the technical team, or as the product, as the what I would say, integrity of your application's performance, that comes in the picture, and it is very essential. Though I might be laughing, but trust me, those 6 hours, what that company must have felt, and what those head
Mhm.
technical leads must have felt. Though I have not experienced on that great level, but they bolte hai, dard to dard
Under
hota hai,
pressure.
pain is pain.
Mhm.
Yes. So and then that time everybody's brainstorming, it's not easy. So that is when you come to test the insights, means, see, there might be, I'm just assuming, 10 people from 10 different sides. Somebody might be from firewall department, somebody from security, somebody from database, somebody from servers, somebody from, I don't know, services, cloud services. They all have their inputs. Oh, this might have gone wrong. We have to test that. So then picking the best thing to test, because you don't even have your entire time to test everything. I'm just talking all this when there's a problem in actual life scenario.
Mhm.
If you are developing, if you are before release, then you do have a decent amount of time to R&D, explore, and that is why we have all the buffer. So you have to test those insights, and after that, you have to review the results, right? So you'll go one by one. If you have to say database guy says, oh, there was some deadlock, there was some, table restrictions, there was some indexing problem, whatever. I don't want to sound too technical. You're like, okay, we understand that this can cause this. Let's test it out. So we can maybe check the database, give permissions, remove the deadlock, run some queries, and if that solves the issue, great. But if it doesn't solve, okay, then we go to another. See, this is I think how life also rules. I mean,
Mhm.
I've seen people who change careers drastically, who change their lifestyle slowly, gradually, because we are just all trying to understand what works for best, right? there
Mhm.
are there are people the famous author in India, Chetan Bhagat. On his
Mhm.
books the movies are made. He was an IIT alumni, and he was working in bank, but then he started writing a novel, right? He
Mhm.
became a writer. So there are things like that. There are people who are quitting their corporate or other maybe journeys for their health and spiritual callings and stuff like that. They're vice versa. There are some people with no great background going great into particular fields or acting or stardom. So yes, so why I said all this, whenever you see there is a problem or there is something that needs to be worked upon, we'll have to go through these what I would say phases, and this applies to everything, not every kind of decision making. So if your geyser is broke, if your washing machine is not working, if your car is not starting, if your laptop is not working, I think every time you do this, oh, what is the problem? Oh, this might have caused the problem, that might have caused the problem. Okay, might be. Now, what is the solution? Okay, I do I need to restart? Do I need to get a service store? Do I need to replace hardware? Do I actually need to have some software upgradation? There are n number of things, and that applies to every sphere of your life. So yes, I
Yeah.
think a lot of discussion on decision making,
Mhm.
and I hope everybody is with me. If you have any doubts, please ask, because it is very important, and I think it's really worth knowing this concept as now. Yes.
Exactly, Prerna ji. And you know what, everyone, Anila, Abba, Rupa, and Varsha, um, and Bela, everyone out here, you have collected the wisdom pearls from this discussion, I would say. Why? Because this framework is so important, and whatever the explanation came, I could completely connect with that. Okay, and in fact, you can define any problem. See, it's not only about technicality, right? And keep any problem. Let's say yesterday's problem, this Facebook, Insta, and WhatsApp were down. What exactly happened? So we identified that Facebook was deleted from internet itself. When you
Mhm.
hit facebook.com, there was no
There was no.
existence.
Yeah, it will not come. Yeah.
Okay, then what they did, they analyzed the data. Hey, what exactly happened? So they found that that something which is not responding. They went inside the why it is not responding. They found that some IP addresses were not really responding. There was one DNS called 1.1.1.1 at Facebook headquarter. This particular DNS IP address were not responding. That was hacked by some. And then what exactly happened at step through 3? They developed some insights. Okay, what could be its counterpart? Can it be responded? Can we make that enable to respond further? Okay, and when they developed that insight, they tried testing that. It took them around more than 5 hours to test that insight, and then they reviewed the result. What if this network layer will be hit back again by the same sources who hit the 1.1.1.1 DNS server? Okay, when they found that this network layer was again not hit, and it became a bit technical. Okay, so just I'm giving you the explanation what happened with Facebook yesterday. And when they reviewed the result and when they test passed, then they declared exactly they have made some decision to relaunch. That moment the facebook.com, they people can hit the URL again and can see that has been survived. This exactly happens. You take any problem in your life, just define it. Your problem is half solved, and then analyze it further. 30% it gets resolved. Then develop the insight, I mean learning. Okay, and we can really test this entire framework here and now. You come up with any problem, we will see how we can come up with some insight and some result, and you will be really surprised that how uniformal and universal this framework is. I just wanted to add. Okay, so let's move further. What is DDDM example are over here? So wonderful example we are coming up with. So we have some around 27 minutes today, and I will be taking you up from here with various examples. Just now we explained one. So it's okay, everyone is ready, and Prerna, it's okay, I can continue over here, right, with some example what you have
Please
explained based
go
on
ahead,
that.
because it's a really important topic, and
Exactly.
as many examples we can give and they could relate, it's great for us.
Totally,
Yes.
totally. So applying the data-driven decision-making framework to online marketing. This is one example. So DDDM is the keyword. Is for what?
Data-driven decision making.
Data-driven decision-making.
Exactly. This is for data-driven decision-making. And we are going to apply this framework for online marketing. So in online marketing, what exactly we are looking at over here? The problem is I'm not making any money from my advertising campaign. It could be any XYZ company. It could be any author like Chetan Bhagat. Okay, he launched his book. Okay, and what he said that exactly Amazon.com is not selling his book properly. He is not able to make money, and then he needs to define the problem at first level. So what exactly is happening? We need to ask them again. Then he says that I'm falling short of my revenue goal. Say, for example, to hit the best selling, he need to reach to 1,000 of sales within 24 hours. I'm just giving example. In the category, say, for example, his category is romance. Okay. Or take another example. The category is say, for example, science fiction. Okay, in that category the author needs to sell at least 1,000 book, and then he find that he's falling short with revenue goal. He is not making, say, $1,000. So what he analyzed, what exactly is happening further? So he says that in fact people are coming, but they are only 500 people are coming. So then he further introspect and investigate and find that I am missing my lead goal KPIs by 50%. So in fact, 1,000 book has to be sold and only 50% people are buying it. Okay, only 50%, I mean 500 people are buying it. And then he developed the insight. What exactly is happening? The further question. I'm missing out on 75% of search impression, means and share due to lack of advertising budget. I don't have budget, and when they search Chetan Bhagat name itself, it does show only the old data. Okay, it doesn't show the new arrivals. And that's why people are not able to reach that until unless they land on Amazon.com. Just giving an example. Okay. Everyone is able to connect what I am explaining over here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. And what they decide, they know now that 75% of search impression share is missed due to lack of advertising budget. So they know what is the solution now. What is the solution? Increase the advertising. Exactly. And then test it. So increase advertising budget by 50% over the course of 30 days. For next 30 days, my advertising budget will go for more 50% so that anyone can search, can also see my new arrivals. Okay. And as a result, what exactly happened? Increased ad budget has been decided. Then improved impression appear, that's share, resulting in KPIs being achieved and revenue goal realized. Yeah, that's the problem has been further achieved in the solution. So all 5 steps are taken over here in this example. Everyone is understood? Everyone is with me so far, whatever example I shared? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Any comments on this? Otherwise, we will move further.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So here are these 5 steps has been broken down further. Okay. So this is a 5-step journey. Is problem, analysis, insight, test, result. So the moment problem comes in and you have to reach to result, right? Solution. So you need to travel a journey, a 5-step journey. The moment you are at any point of time in a problem, you need to tell yourself, okay, 5 steps more I need to take. In fact, 4 steps more I need to take, because I am standing at problem, realizing the problem. So what are those 4 steps? Analyze it, insight it, test it, and result it. Simple. Okay. Analyze it, insight it, test it, result it. Okay. And when problem is there, you are defining the why. You are defining the situation. Okay. You are declaring what exactly you need the result. Okay. And then when you analyze, you answer the question, the what. Okay. The question was, what is happening in fact. Then he says that I'm missing my monthly lead acquisition. Okay. By 50%, it was declared well. Then why I'm missing? I'm missing out on 75% of my search impression. Okay. Due to lack of advertising budget. Why gave the clear picture the next, how you can boost it up. Then you need to accommodate that how and test it. So I'm going to test increasing my advertising spend by 50%. That was decided for the month, and I can increase my search impression. That was decided. And then finally result appears, increasing my advertising budget resulted in 100% in 100% increase in search impression. That was all the game of search in search summary. It was not showing the new arrivals. Okay. And that resulting in my lead acquisition goal KPI being achieved. I have compared these results against my return on advertising spend. See, it has been also abbreviated. Return on advertising spend is also called as ROS. And return on investment is also called as ROI. And that figures for at least 30 days compared to the previous month. And I can see the improvement here as well. So what exactly I did, whatever I read over here, whatever I analyzed, whatever I understood and shared with you guys, I just documented them. Okay. And shared with you back. Everyone is with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now the thing is that business analytics with Excel, we are going to talk about in short. But before that, Prerna ji, would you like to add something?
Gaurav, I'm good. I think
Okay, cool.
it was very nice. So we can go ahead. Yes.
So in the similar manner, you can take multiple examples, right? And the more important thing is here, only business analysis does not stop. Okay. We get into detail. We talked about various tools and analytics approach. Okay. So understand business analysis is about analyzing, also generating some reports. So when we are talking about generating some report, data mining, data gathering, then business analytics come into the picture. So analyzing past business performance and predicting future business performance. So that will help you to gather some data and publish the report. Do you follow what I said just now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So the focus of business analysis is functions and processes. Okay. So what do I mean by this? I mean that identifying the business needs and then recommend some solution. And that's what exactly we did, right? Over here, we identify the business need, that's the problem, and the fifth step was the solution. So this was one way to achieve over there, reach over there. Okay. So any questions so far over here?
No.
You understood the framework? Can anyone tell me the what do you call 5 steps of DDDM? Can you just tell anyone? Bela, would you like to give it a try? What are the 5 steps of data driven decision making?
Yeah, you can just tell in your own words, not
Yeah.
with the actual words. Yeah, please go ahead.
Anyway,
Okay.
you can just, yeah.
I can use the same example you use.
Yeah, tell me the steps. That's it.
Okay, it's a so first is a problem, then problem comes, you analyze, which is the what, and then you look at into the insight, which is why it happened, and then you do the testing, which is how,
Very nice.
and then you come to the results.
Exactly.
Superb, superb.
So yeah, so tomorrow means next day, what we will be looking at it, how we can use the Excel sheet, and we can also see the some famous formula, okay, which can be incorporated. We will also see some more example, okay. And let me ask you one thing to do when we will do and see at these all. What I want you to do, we have spoken, let me ask you, and you need to confirm me, did we speak that industry decides or say many company have their own templates of use case requirement document? Did we discuss that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone is on
Discussed.
the same page? Bela, you agree with this?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So what I want you to do, because every company has their own format, okay? And when we are talking, when we were talking about requirement gathering and requirement processes, we also talked that write them into document it as per company's format and company template. So what you can do is that go to Google, that's going to be your home play. Okay. So how you're going to play? Go to google.com and search requirement document template. Okay. Or functional requirement document template. What you are going to search on Google?
Requirement document.
Exactly. Download that, any sample file. Any sample file you are going to download, that is going to be Word document. Okay. When you download that, open that up. When you will open that up, you will find already some, data are written over there. It could be blank as well. It will show you some logos. Okay. It will show you some logos of company. You can change them. Okay. You can think of your own duty every single day you do. Okay. And that time you can see that how I can create a new requirement document. So I want you to just play with that formatted document or understand the format in fact, and come back with the some question that you understood some point, you did not understand some point, what it could be, what it could not be. Yeah. So can Bela, you repeat what exactly I said just now? The task,
So,
the
so you
activity.
say, go to the google.com
Mm-hmm.
and then search for the requirement document template.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can open, look at this, what is the sample file they have, and you create your own requirement depending on the duties. What do you do?
Mm-hmm. And then
if we have any question or
Questions.
anything, come up with the
exactly. So that when your questions are answered, tomorrow we can give you some another home play for creating a new requirement document, and you can go back and you can create by your own. In fact, you can work as a team. One can be scrum master, one can be business analyst, one can be developer, one can be designer, one can be a tester, one can be architect, and we are going to play that. Okay, cool. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
So assignment is clear for the next step, everyone. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, whatever we are explaining, are you loving that?
Yes.
Yes.
If it is a loud yes, give me a camera high five again and say, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I trust you are loving what you are learning. Thank you so much. So yeah, any further question, by the way? If no, if it is no, we can consider it as no. I have some message. Again, I'm going to repeat it. So if you have not been, see, the thing is that the total intention behind is that you should be getting placed. And this is a journey where you learn and then you get marketed so that you can get interviewed, so that you can get placed. Yes, everyone agree with that, whatever I said?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So for that, what exactly happens? Not only learning will not only help. So learn and get better into it by revising whatever you have learned. Okay. And for that, we give you unsaid assignment that every single time, whatever you have learned, go back and draw it. That is the first step. If you don't draw it, you cannot be a nail shooter, point shooter in the summary video you are publishing. Are you understanding what I said? Yeah. So drawing is very, very important. Whatever you have understood, go back and scribble it out on the piece of paper. Okay. And then once you have scribbled it out, really just look at it once, show that in the camera that you have created that drawing. That's number 2. Number 3, now don't refer that drawing. Start speaking out, start summarizing whatever your understanding has been on day 1. Done. You stop the recording, then again reshoot yourself for day 2. Small summary of 1 minute, 2 minutes will help us to analyze that how much work I need to do for you. Okay. And how much push you would require. And that's the third point. And the 4th point is that you need to continuously attending RRRP session. Every single time when you understand and you undergo some criticism, or you undergo some appreciation, or you see others to undergoing these phases, that time the person is evolving to the next level. Okay. And getting ready for clearing the interview. Do you follow whatever I'm telling? Yeah.
Yes.
So accept that, embrace that, and allow that. Okay, so that you can really embark the journey towards being placed as a scrum master or business analyst. Okay, most of the job will be coming inside your group. Okay, that's a BAQS group, and there you need to pick one profile, and you can ask the HR who posts that, hey, I want to apply for this job. But that will only happen once your resume will be approved by Devji. Do you follow that? How that resume will be approved? Once you will undergo the RRRP session that happens every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock EST. Make a note of it. Okay. So once you are done, once your resume is approved, share that with us, Prerna and Gaurav, with Prerna and Gaurav. And what we will do, we will rework on that, and we will interview you after the sessions are done for you, so that we can again cross-check how much more push you require for clearing the interviews. We will prepare you for client interview, and we want you to see working as an employee in corporate of America, and we will feel really proud of it, because every single session is adding some experience in you, and that's how we will be building some resume. Okay, we are giving some example, but that time we are painting in your mind that you are already working there. as a business analyst, sometime in banking, sometime in healthcare domain, sometime in insurance domain. Okay, do you follow what exactly I'm talking over here? Bela,
Yes.
Varsha, Anila,
Yes.
Aba,
Yes.
Rupa.
Yes.
Mhm.
Is the yes from everyone from all the direction?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Aba, Bela, Rupa, and Anila and Varsha. Yes, all righty. So, any other question?
No.
So I think assignments are clear. Whatever we have learned so far is clear. Then what do you feel like talking, Anila, today?
Today the session was very informative and interactive.
Okay, cool. Can you take someone else's name on the screen?
Rupa.
Rupa, what do you feel like saying, Rupa?
Yeah, this is the understand compared to yesterday's. This is today's understanding very well about the BA.
About the BA. Okay, call out someone else's name, Rupa, on the screen.
Varsha.
Varsha, what do you feel like saying, Varsha?
Today's session was had a really, I mean, you both of you gave a really good insight on the overall role of business analyst, and what are their, I mean, kind of responsibilities. So good insight on the
Okay, call out someone's name on the screen, Varsha.
who all are there, Bila and Abha.
So one person.
Abha.
Yeah. Abba, what do you feel like saying?
Yeah, it was a very, very informative session today. And I'm looking forward for like what will be the responsibility of the business if I'm going in the business analyst. So it's good to know everything about it because it's completely new for me, and so it looks very interesting to me now.
And you're finding it easy, right, Abha?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the goal is. So yeah, call out someone's name on the screen.
Bela.
Bela, what do you feel like saying?
Very informative, and I'm learning every day new words and new things.
Yeah, exactly. Keep taking notes of those new words and it will be useful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Bela, call out someone's name on the screen you see.
Prerna.
Yeah, Prerna ji.
Yeah.
What do you feel
Thank
like?
you so much, Bella. So today's session was live. Live means we took a live example of the live scenario that happened last day, and everybody was present. Everybody poured in their heart. Everybody shared their views, and it was super interesting. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for coming up with different examples which were relevant and awesome explanations. And I really had a great time. So thank you so much. And yes, last but not the least, please do rewatch this video because this is gonna give you a better clarity what you might have missed during the session. So yes, over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you so much. So Kamini is not there, but yeah, I believe that she is going to listen to this in the recording. And one thing I remember, what I feel like saying, that I still remember the example which was shared by Prerna ji. And on this note, I'll be closing the call. It's the same example. Anyone remember what comes the example when you talk about that? Prerna ji shared some example. Anyone remember that? What I would be retaining in my memory?
Pizza.
Pizza, exactly. You said it right. And there's no other choice. I'm still living the call.
I
Oh
know
my
food
God.
examples always
It's
work.
just started and
Yeah, and I explained it in detail that how you're going to feel.
yeah,
So it is retaining in my memory, right? So yeah, so keep delighting your activities and with whom you're performing the activities. So delight should be the keyword, and see how much you are feeling delightful. Okay. So on this note, I just wanted to say, have a great night. Come back with the great summary, and you should be audible as well. So even in the both the both days assignments, when you publish your small teaser or videos or summaries, make sure you are audible, and yes, you can smile also. So that's the thing. So you can choose to smile. The more you smile, the more better understanding would be, I think. So thank you so much and
Yes.
good night to you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a
Good
good day.
night.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Gaurav. Thank you, Prerna ma'am.
Bye. Bye.
Good day, Gaurav. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye. Good day.